Hi, I'm Teddy Khan. Today we are going to be comparing two different genocides. The Rwanda genocide between the Hutus and the Tutsis, and the Holocaust between the Nazis and most minorities. Now let's get down to it. What really is genocide? Genocide is the deliberate killing of one large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation. Alright, let's take a step back and talk strictly numbers. In the Rwandan genocide, between 500,000 and 1 million people died. That's about 20% of their entire nation's population. In the Holocaust, an estimated 11 million people were killed. Among those people, 6 million Jews were killed. The regions where the Holocaust and the Rwanda genocide took place were both economically troubled after their genocide. Before the Holocaust, Germany was an economic powerhouse, only second behind America. After the Holocaust, they were way behind America and most other countries. In fact, they were even behind Rwanda, which is a much smaller country. Politically, Germany was much more effective than Rwanda because being a part of the Nazi Party was just like being a Democrat or Republican in the U.S. Think of it this way. If in the United States we got rid of the Democratic Party, then the only government powerhouse would be the Republicans, and all of the former Democrats would be very angry and upset that their needs weren't being taken care of. So, what they had to do was fix it. They had to make a new government, start from ground zero and work their way up. That's what Germany had to do when the Nazi Party became corrupt. The genocide in Rwanda was much less politically based because it was between two ethnic groups, the Hutus and the Tutsis, and not between governments. And that left the government rebuilding, but not as much as the Holocaust. One similarity that both genocides had were power struggles. The Rwandan genocide's power struggle was that the Tutsis had been in power for a very long time and the Hutus wanted to take over power. The Hutus had much bigger numbers and many more people, but the Hutus had the supplies and the wealth to support it. The power struggle in the Holocaust was that Hitler and the Nazi Party wanted to stay in power forever, and the way he was going to do it was to find a common enemy. He decided to make the common enemy the minorities of Germany. The really sad reality of these two genocides is the way in which people were killed and the way that they were treated as inhumane creatures. In the Rwandan genocide, citizens would go and chop off the heads of other citizens using machetes. The Nazi Party would kill Jews and other minorities by poisoning them with gas and then incinerating their dead corpses. So what are the similarities of the two genocidal events, given that the atrocities are decades and continents apart? Let's break this up into three categories: dehumanization, blaming the ills of society on a group, and them versus us. First, in order to slaughter innocent men, women, and children, the population must dehumanize the other minority. In other words, one group must think of the next group as lesser beings. Similarly, in the Holocaust and the Rwandan genocide, one population is blaming the other for things not going their way. In the case of Nazi Germany, among other things, the Germans blame the Jews for negatively impacting the economy. Finally, the dominating group pins their population against the other group. For example, in the Rwandan genocide, the Hutu leaders told their people that they had the right to be the leaders of all of Rwanda. Alright, thanks for listening to my comparison video between the Holocaust and the Rwandan genocide.
Bye.